for this patch part, you're gonna want the height to be at least, oops, this is about 2 or 3 inches tall right here, so you want it at least that tall. Width doesn't really matter, but at least 2 inches all the way around. So I'm gonna get started on that stitch with some white yarn, some magenta yarn, and I'm also gonna use this hot pink yarn. I'm gonna start with the white yarn. You're gonna start with a magic circle. So you're just tying a knot, and then you're going to chain 2 or 3 depending on the type of yarn. I'm gonna chain 3, just I think it's easier. Then make that magic circle. Pulling it through both, all right? After you make your magic circle of 3 chain stitches, you're gonna go into the middle of that circle and do 8 single crochet stitches, all in the center. So there's 1. Just gonna keep going around making these single crochet stitches until you get to 8. So that's 3. After that 8th stitch, you're going to complete the round with a slip stitch into that first stitch you made, like that. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 2 stitches in each stitch around to make the circle bigger. That was 1. You're going to go back in this first stitch. You're going to do 2. You're going to do 2 in each stitch all the way around. After that round, you're going to close with a slip stitch, and then instead of doing 2 in each, you're going to go 2, 1, 2, 1. So starting this first stitch, we're going to go 2 stitches in this one, go back in that one, another one, and for this one we're only going to do 1. And this one back to 2. And this one just 1, all the way around. After you finish the round, you are going to do another slip stitch, and then you're going to tie it off. So chain 1 and pull a really long, make sure it's a long tail, because we're going to use this with the tapestry needle to sew it onto that one. So long tail. There's not an exact science to how long it should be, but for this project it should be at least 8 inches in length if you want to be precise. Just make sure it's long enough that you can actually use it with the tapestry needle to sew this on. So I didn't film the first die, but now you can see what the final product is as we do the second one. So first you're going to come up with thread and needle, and you're going to, this thread is about 16 inches by the way. Yeah, with your tapestry needle, you're gonna come up through the center of this. So where this hole is right here, you're gonna come through the back. So like that, getting through the center, pull it through. And when starting out, you want to leave a tail. So something like this at the back of it, where you don't pull all the way through, just because it'll be easier to tie off at the end. Me personally, I think longer tails are easier to tie off. So I'm gonna pull it through, and then we're gonna start with this arch of the eye right here. So we're gonna go in at an angle like that. So kind of like that over here, and going into this like first row right here. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna stab it all the way through, pulling it through, and then keeping track of this tail back here so it doesn't undo itself. Pulling it through. And that's our first stitch. Next, we're gonna go for this kind of swoosh right here. So we're gonna want this kind of angle where it's like that. You can't see it really well on here, but it's gonna go in an angle sort of like this. And we're gonna go all the way up to this last row right here. So it's gonna be not there. About, hang on. One more row up. I'm just mirroring off of this. I don't know if you can tell. Right there. So you want it to be slightly higher than this one. You're gonna come through, you're gonna stab through from the back, pull it all the way through, and then you're going to come down and stab right here. All right, there we go. Next, you're going to go in with, that's not totally even, but you know, the imperfections make it pretty. So next we're going to go for this down swoosh right here. So it's a more abrupt angle and it's still over here. So I'm just going to go for right here. That works. And then pulling it through. It's somewhat in line with this midpoint right here, and you're going to stab right through here. Stabbing it through. Coming through again. Oops. And there we go. Next, we're going to go for this right here. So now we're going to start coming down. So at the middle of the eye, about, is where this angle intercepts. So I'm going to find the middle of the eye, and it's like right under this midpoint right here. So this is the middle. So I'm going to go for right here. And now I'm going to come through, pulling that through. Next, I'm going to go back up into this one, pulling it all the way through. Okay, we have one more stitch left, and we're going to go back into, from the back, we're going to go to this one right here, and gonna push it all the way through. Hang on. Bring that all the way through, and now we're just going to complete it by going back into this mid-circle belly button thing, stabbing through and coming out all the way, and pulling it tight to make sure it looks pretty even. Yeah, looks awesome. After you're done with that, I didn't film it, but you're just going to tie these two in the back and then cut them. So I did a double knot, just these two. For the hat, you're going to start with your pink yarn. And you're going to go straight into this with it. So you're going to start where this eye is, and just in the outermost stitch. Leave a long tail when you do this. You're going to yarn over and pull through. Make sure you leave a long tail so it doesn't become undone accidentally. And you're just going to do chain one. And then you're just going to start single crocheting around the circle. Once you reach the end of it, where the eye kind of touches, you're going to chain one, then turn it over, and you are going to do a single crochet into this very first stitch. Then you're going to do chain 6, and then you're going to go back into it with a single crochet all the way back down the chain. Once you get back down to the start, you're just going to continue with the line, just doing single crochets down. Once you reach the end, you're going to chain 1, scratch that, reverse it. Once you get to the end, actually do one more right here. Alright, once you get to the end, looks like this, you're going to tie this off, so chain 1, you're going to cut it. For this next part, you're going to do the lining, the greenish, bluish, aqua lining with this type of yarn. You're going to start by kind of going in between these stitches like that with your hook. So I'm going to do it near where the corner of this eye is, but more closer to where the end of this pink is. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to take my yarn. Make sure you leave a long tail for this. It makes it easier to tie it up at the end. I'm going to pull it through like that. Make sure you keep a long tail. Don't let it pull all the way through. You're going to chain 1. Next, you are going to do surface crochet all the way around here. So what that means is you're going to go underneath. Really, you're going to want to go in between the pink and the white. So we're like this. Yarn over, you're going to pull it through. And you're going to do slip stitches, so you're just going to pull it straight on through. Like that. And you're going to do this till you reach the edge of this pink part. So I'm actually going to go in right here. This is my last stitch. And then I'm going to tie it off by chaining 1, pulling a long tail, just for good measure, cutting it, pulling it out. This part is optional. It's the pom-pom for this tail right here. It's not optional like I just said, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyways. So you're going to want a really tiny pom-pom. So you're going to take your yarn and you're going to wrap it, so you want a long tail because it'll be easier to tie on. So long tail, and with the other yarn, strand of yarn, you're going to wrap it around your finger. Don't cut off your circulation, please. That's not good. I'm going to wrap it around enough times so it looks like a pom-pom. Once you get to about here, you're going to keep track of this strand. You're going to cut that off. And then carefully, don't cut yourself, you're going to take it off your finger and cut right through the middle right here. Make sure you don't let go of the strands or they fall, and that's not good. So once you cut it, you can take this long strand that you already had, and with this bush, you can just lay out the string, carefully put it in there, then double knot this. Once you do that, you can trim the pom-pom however you like. I'm gonna make it really small just because it's gonna go on this, and this looks kind of huge. So I'm gonna trim it. And you want to keep these though, because you want to keep these long so that you can tie it on to the hat after making your pom-pom and trimming it how you want to. You're also going to weave in / trim your loose ends to get this. I'm going to show you how to tie this on, and then we'll get to sewing this onto the actual thing. So you're going to take these 2 strands, you're going to take one of them. Using your hook, you're going to pull it through one stitch over here, pulling it all the way through, like that. Then with your other one, you're just gonna double knot it right there. Like so. For extra security, you can also tie it on the other stitch, so like this. Going through here, pull it through another stitch. Oops. Pull it through another stitch, and then tie it from there as well. Just to absolutely ensure that this is not going to come off. Next, you're going to weave in these ends. Next, using your tapestry needle and this really long tail you have, you're going to sew this onto here. Like so. I'm going to start by stabbing into it, just because it makes for cleaner finish. Make sure that you're doing it also on the side of the candle holder, so it's not like on the bottom or something weird like that. Make sure it can be easily visible on the side of it. And you're just gonna go from the back and just keep stitching it around. And once you get to this hat part, just try to go under the hat so it doesn't make some weird stitching. So going through it, under the hat, and just going through the candle holder. If you made it this far, I'm super proud of you. Good job. Once you completed your sewing, you're just going to pull this off, and you're going to weave this into this yarn after you trim it. So taking your hook, yarning this over, pulling it through, and don't want to pull it through too much because then this happens. Oopsie. Cutting it. And then there you go. This is the final product. Pull it on through to the back. And there you have it. It's done.